Today we are going to compare the Deity V-Mic D3 Pro to the Rode VideoMic Pro. I swear it's so hard to say that name. Throughout the video, you'll be hearing me switch between the two mics, so try to decide which one you think sounds better to you. Both of these mics are camera-mounted shotgun microphones, mainly used for vlogging. I've been using the Deity microphone for quite a while, about 2 to 3 years, and I recently got the Rode mic. So the main objective for this video is to see whether or not the Rode mic can replace my Deity mic as my main camera-mounted microphone. In this comparison, these mics will face off in 5 battle categories. They are build quality, ease of use, sound quality, price for the value, and then the 5th category is just going to be my personal choice, but it might not be aligned with the somewhat more popular or objective choice. By the end of this video, I will crown the reigning champion between these two mics, and hopefully that'll help you guys decide between the two mics if you are trying to pick one up. By the way, if you want to check out individual reviews for the mics, I'll have those as links down below. Now, let the mic battle begin. All right, in terms of build quality, I'd say they're right about equal. You can see that the shock mounts for both of these are pretty sturdy, flexible as well, and they wouldn't break basically. I've dropped the Deity mic a fair amount of times and it works perfectly fine afterwards, so you don't really have to worry about these mics being like destroyed after dropping or something like that. And in terms of the hot shoe mount, the thing that helps connect it to the camera, both microphones seem to be a secure fit. I will say that for the Deity mic, I had to like always tighten it every time I use it. Otherwise, that's the occasions where it dropped if I didn't do that. The Rode mic, I haven't had quite enough time with it yet to know that, but for the run test that I did, they both did fine. Also, another thing to note that I'm pretty sure would be important for you guys is how well do these do in terms of like storage. So I've got a bag from Peak Design, and this is usually where I put my camera. When I put it in this bag, it fits the camera and the lens quite well, and there's just barely enough room for the microphone. And I'd say that I've tried fitting both of them in and they do fit, but you sort of have to like crush it in there. So like the foam parts get like kind of stuffed up, and you don't have to worry about that because they do pop back up. So both of them have done that and they've done it fine. So I'd say like in terms of like travel, you're not gonna break your microphone if you like put it in a tight spot, you'll be fine. So to me, because the Deity microphone is just slightly more compressed, I'd favor that in terms of the build, as well as the fact that it has like an extra screw where you can move the mic closer or further. So in terms of build quality, I'd say just barely the Deity wins out, but just barely. Otherwise, in all other cases, they're like the same. All right, next category is ease of use. And I'm gonna say hands down, right even before like I start talking about it, the Deity is gonna win for this. Why? Number one, the internal microphone is just far easier to charge in my opinion than the 9-volt battery inside the Rode microphone, which actually took a while to like get in for me. I had to watch a YouTube tutorial to figure that out. If you guys are stuck at that part, then you can watch my video, which goes over how to insert the battery. I mean, the 9-volt battery is gonna last a long time. The website says that it'll last about 70 hours of recording before the battery dies out. So that's a good amount of recording time. And then for the Deity mic, the website says that it's 51 hours before you have to recharge it. But it's far easier to recharge it than it is to like replace the battery, in my opinion. Of course, in the long run, the battery is gonna be a lot better because you know, the internal battery is going to start like losing energy and losing storage capacity at some point. So if you're thinking like 5 years down the line, yes, the Rode mic will be better, but you know, 5 years down the line, you might just get a new mic anyways. And another big difference in terms of ease of use is the wiring. Unfortunately for the Rode microphone, it has like this really danky wiring situation where it's like very loose, and I've tested this microphone twice already, one at the beach and one like a couple weeks ago where I was trying to do this video, and it just didn't work because unfortunately I must have like snagged the wire or something because it was slightly loose. But I was pretty certain, like I've never ever had that problem with the Deity mic where like the wire was loose. I've always inserted it all the way, it works perfectly fine. That is a big factor in this like situation where I'm like saying, okay, the Deity wins out for ease of use. And another big thing is the gain knob. in terms of ease of use. It just helps with adjusting the recording levels to be as perfect as possible. The Rode mic has a plus 20 decibels as well as a minus 10 decibels, but in my opinion, it's just far easier to use a gain knob than it is like just two switches. So in terms of ease of use, hands down, the Deity is gonna take this one. All right, next we're gonna talk about sound quality. And for this one, we're actually gonna go out in the field, do some tests, bring it back, and compare the audio. All right guys, we are out at a park right now. I know this isn't the best image, but we're just testing the sound. Deity versus Rode mic. I have the Deity on my left side, and then I have the Rode mic on my right side. I'm centered where the mics are, and I'm about 3 feet away right now. All right guys, we are out at a park right now. I know this isn't the best image, but we're just testing the sound. Deity versus Rode mic. There's a lot of wind going on right now to see which one does better while wind is going on. Obviously neither one is gonna sound good, but let's find out. Okay, the Rode mic sounds okay. Like, it's not like terrible considering it's being thrashed by wind right now. Like, you can still hear my voice decently. Okay, the Deity mic was definitely running a little hot, but you know, I'm gonna do an indoor test because that's probably like a lot better. All right, right now I am behind the camera. I'm just gonna give you guys a sample of how it sounds while I'm behind the camera. All right, right now I am behind the camera. I'm just gonna give you guys a sample of how it sounds while I'm behind the camera. Not that that matters too much, but I do see there's a couple use cases for that, so this is how it sounds. All right guys, this is the test for 3 feet away from the microphones. I'm centered and they are the same distance away from my mouth. Let's see how this sounds. Overall, hopefully, I'm pretty sure it sounds good overall since 3 feet away is good. All right guys, this is the test for 3 feet away from the microphones. I'm centered and they are the same distance away from my mouth. Let's see how this sounds. Overall, hopefully, I'm pretty sure it sounds good overall since 3 feet away is good. I'm gonna back up a bit and see how that sounds now. All right guys, we are about 6 feet away. I'm talking louder, so there's probably gonna be a good amount of reverb, but I do feel like talking about 6 feet away is something that I do frequent enough for it to be a good test. All right guys, we are about 6 feet away. I'm talking louder, so there's probably gonna be a good amount of reverb, but I do feel like talking about 6 feet away is something that I do frequent enough for it to be a good test. All right, interesting, very interesting. Okay, when I'm listening with my headphones, I think that I like the sound of the Rode mic better, which is very interesting. I wasn't expecting that. I mean, I believe the Rode mic is $30 more than the Deity mic, so it makes sense, you know, like you get slightly better sound for a bit more money. So the main question is, which one is better priced for the value? And in my opinion, I think that sound quality is the #1 priority. So I'm inclined to give it to the Rode mic. Like, you just pay $30 extra to get better sound quality, just slightly. But because of the ease of use of the Deity mic and the fact that it's not like worlds apart in terms of sound quality, makes me inclined to like give this like the winner for the price for value category. I really wish I got better cases like outside, because I feel like outside is pretty important. The Deity mic was definitely running hot, which was surprising to me because it's like it was set to a very similar level that it is right now. And I'm looking at the levels and it's definitely like fine. So in this case, I would say that I need to redo that test if we want like a really fair comparison. So going back out in the blazing sun, just gotta do it for the video, right? Okay, this might not be the best test ever, but you know, I wanted to do a better one compared to the one where the Deity was running hot. Okay, this might not be the best test ever, but you know, I wanted to do a better one compared to the one where the Deity was running hot. Let's see. Hey Siri, how hot is it right now?
It seems rather hot to me. It appears to be clear right now, with a temperature of 97 degrees. It seems rather hot to me. It appears to be clear right now, with a temperature of 97 degrees.
The settings are optimized. They are at audio recording level 1, and then both mics are at gain plus 20. So basically for the Deity mic, that means rolling it all the way up to 10 on the gain knob. So right now the winds aren't that bad because I have like some walls surrounding me, but there are a lot of other noises such as planes and someone's AC going off. So right now the winds aren't that bad because I have like some walls surrounding me, but there are a lot of other noises such as planes and someone's AC going off. So I suspect this might be a good use case for the high pass filter. So that's actually what I'm going to try. Right now it's not on at all. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on for both of them. All right, so the high pass filter for the Deity is now at 75 Hertz, and then the Rode mic is turned on, and I believe that's at 80 Hertz. There's only one option for the Rode one. All right, so the high pass filter for the Deity is now at 75 Hertz, and then the Rode mic is turned on, and I believe that's at 80 Hertz. There's only one option for the Rode one. So I'll go ahead and do the other option for the Deity. Okay, now the Deity is at 150 instead of 75. As I've tested before, it doesn't sound as good, so what I'm gonna do is now turn it back to normal for both of them. All right, so that is the test. Same thing as before, I'm about 3 feet away from both microphones. You know what, here's what I'm gonna do. I'll show you how I'm testing this. So I have both cameras on a tripod, and the cameras are slightly off level. This one is higher. The Deity mic one is a little bit higher, mainly because the Rode mic is just taller. So I tried to level it out as best as I can. It's not perfectly leveled, but it shouldn't matter too much if it's just like an inch of a difference. I'll show you guys that footage once you see it. You can determine whether or not you think it's a fair difference. Okay, so we're gonna try one more indoor test, and this is with the camera and microphone settings completely optimized. So that means the audio recording levels for both cameras are set at 1, and both of them will be set at plus 20 decibels in terms of the own mic's gain. That way it's as fair as possible. There's no high pass filter turned on as well, so you guys will get an idea of how it sounds at its best for both mics. So that means the audio recording levels for both cameras are set at 1, and both of them will be set at plus 20 decibels in terms of the own mic's gain. That way it's as fair as possible. There's no high pass filter turned on as well, so you guys will get an idea of how it sounds at its best for both mics. So I think while I was editing, I got more of an opportunity to just like listen and pick the true winner, I suppose. And that is the Deity mic. In my opinion, after listening to the new tests that I did to replace the old tests that weren't as optimized, I figured out a couple things. Number one, I think I liked the Rode mic better when the high pass filters were on for both mics. So the Deity with 75 Hertz high pass filter versus the Rode mic with the 80 Hertz high pass filter. I prefer the Rode mic in that situation. But if you were to turn off both high pass filters, I do think I like the Deity sound better. Number two, during the outside test with the Deity and Rode mic with no high pass filter, if you were to listen to that part with headphones, you'd hear that the Deity mic has a lot more background noise. Although I still like the Deity mic's sound better because it makes the voice clearer. So in terms of being outside, it's sort of a mixed bag. If you prefer to use the Deity mic, you're gonna have more clarity for the voice, but the background noise will be higher, versus the Rode mic where the background noise isn't as strong, but the voice isn't as clear either. And then number three, while optimized indoors with no high pass filter, I think that they sound pretty much equal. I listened to them like a good 5 to 6 times each, like one at a time, sometimes repeating like 5 seconds of it and then going to the next one, repeating that 5 seconds, going back and forth like that, and just listening with my headphones. I could not tell like a huge difference in terms of the sound quality. So both of them are pretty darn close to one another when you're indoors about 3 feet away and the settings are optimized. With all of that said, I do sort of want to take back my score that I gave the Rode mic previously, which was an 8 out of 10 versus the Deity mic, which was a 7.5 out of 10. I think what I want to do is increase the Deity mic to 8 out of 10 and keep the Rode mic at 8 out of 10 as well, since both of them have their ups and downs in terms of what I mentioned before with the background noise. They're both really good shotgun on-camera mount mics in my opinion. I think my mistake was, for some reason, I got into the habit of always turning on the 75 Hertz high-pass filter for the Deity mic. And I actually do know that reason. It's because it turns on a blue light at the top, which helps indicate that the mic is on. It's just easier for me to see it that way. But now I'm just never gonna turn that thing on because it sounds way better without it, in my opinion. And I do think as a content creator while editing, sometimes when you want to structure a video in the beginning, it's not gonna quite work out. I made 5 categories and I went over all of them. I think the 5th category, my personal pick, should just be the winner because it makes a lot more sense to do it that way. I'll give my ups and downs for each mic and say like, if you want this in this situation, then go for it. But this is a review made by me, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say that the Deity is my winner. And I will say that it's not by a huge margin. The Rode VideoMic Pro is definitely a good microphone. It's just that I prefer using the Deity mic. With that said, let's get back to the footage I recorded before I started editing. And the AC is back on, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this competition right now. And don't forget that audio editing is also very important in making your sound good. Sound good. Making your audio sound good. Like for instance, the AC is on right now, and let's see what happens if I apply some noise reduction. Hopefully it sounds a bit better. If you guys are interested in learning about that, I created a Skillshare class dedicated to editing dialogue audio. I'll leave a link in the description below for you guys to check it out. Let me know in the comments down below which mic you personally would choose and whether or not you have extra tips or opinions on this competition. Best of luck with your projects. I'll see you guys in the next one.